episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the Boss Rush family of podcasts, head to bossrush.net or our Patreon at patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Hi, LeRon.
What's up, Corey? How's it going?
It's been a week. It's fine. It's okay.
It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay. So, how are you, LeRon? How's your week?
It's okay. I just wish like my back would quit hurting. I did. I'm not sure. I have my ideas how I hurt my back, but it's been hurting for a solid week now. It's actually getting better at this point, but still, it's just like, man, come on.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I understand your pain completely. Also joining us is PK Power, Pat Klein.
I feel like we're all passing around the pain. Like it started with Corey like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got passed down to me with my nerve damage. And then hit Stephanie when she fell off the pole. And now it's you, LeRon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, like this whole back thing this back thing was going on since it actually, like, my back was bothering me since last week when we recorded last week. I just was not complaining about it at that point. Now I am complaining about it.
Yeah. Well, take the route that Stephanie and I went and use drugs. Steroids.
Drugs, not hugs. Put it right there in the butt. It absorbs it quicker. I don't know. That's science. Sciencey stuff.
It's true. You stick it up the butt to absorb quicker.
Oh boy. Anyways, Stephanie's not here, everybody. She's taking the night off. So it's just us. Just us. Cool dudes. Am I right? Am I right?
Old, crazy, cool men.
Yeah.
Cool dudes. We're those cool cats.
Yeah, let me see if I have my cool glasses that I got at an event. Oh, I found them.
No, please don't. Not those glasses. Not those glasses. Oh, those are okay. Those are different. I thought it was those other ones that was all like crusted with like rhinestones on the frame.
No, my daughter.
What happened? What?
They're
gone.
Okay,
I was about to say, what happened to those?
Dude, they're gone. They're gone. They're just. I don't know. All right, this make my eyes hurt. Okay. Well, I guess we can get in the meat of the show. Nobody wants to hear how old we are and how bad our backs hurt because we sneezed. So,
come on, how many old people have video game podcasts?
A few maybe. Isn't there literally a site called Mega Dads?
Mega Dads?
Yeah, or Nintendads.
Can't say I've ever heard of it.
Nextlander. Jeff Gerstmann Show. Sorry, I'm just naming old people podcasts. Look what you started, Pat.
Okay, so every old person who ever played video games as a kid now owns a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Podcast is like the old person equivalent of people who want to do YouTube but can't.
That is true.
Because they're too old. Anyways. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Let's make the show exciting for people. I'm sure people tuned out already. LeRon, what are you playing? Tell us about what you're doing to your ROG ally. Why are you breaking it?
I'm not breaking it. I'm not breaking it actually. Even though I have been doing a lot of stuff that actually makes it perform a lot better than what it would out the box. Like one thing I did was I changed the power profile by default, and this thing is aggressive. Meaning that like it uses a ton of the resources like CPU and graphics card heavy, stuff like that. And that causes a lot of heat to build up, which means your fans are going to ramp up and stuff like that. Well, there is a way to stop that from being super aggressive, and I did that. And yes, man, like I'm talking about like some nice performance, doesn't get as hot anymore and stuff like that. And like it's like all is right in the world right now. But
Till,
but
until you play Final Fantasy 16 on that bad boy, and then it starts melting.
whenever it comes to PC, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but the thing right now, and 2 days ago I read this article, and I was trying to find it. Like apparently it's not in my history, which means I must have read it on my phone or something. But there was an article saying that real soon, there's going to be a certain generation of games that you will not be able to play anywhere natively on like an existing system. And so basically, it was an article talking about game preservation and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of fucking around. Like you guys know me. I love me a good emulator and stuff like that. But I'm tired of fucking around. So like I just went ahead and with the ROG Ally, like I downloaded EmuDeck, which is actually something it's very popular on the Steam Deck right now. I downloaded it because it's ROG Ally compatible and stuff like that. And then I started running Emulation Station, and now I'm just going ham on like getting ROMs and stuff and getting this thing set up. Like the ROG Ally is going to be like my freaking portable library. Like it's crazy. Like I'm not gonna name some of the obvious names for ROMs because like if you think about the stuff that's hard to find right now because like the guy with the guy with the red hat and the plunger like is a mascot for the company, and things get really hectic for those guys. But yeah, like I'm getting my childhood back basically. And yeah, but I mean like everything from the plumber stuff all the way to like PlayStation 1, 2 and 3 it can be emulated, Xbox and 360, which that means I'm finally going to be playing some Jet Set Radio Future. I'm finally going to do that. Finally going to do that, and just other stuff, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, which is only available for one system. Thank you very much. uh, but yeah, so yeah, more tinkering, more playing around. Haven't been playing anything new and current and stuff like that. Right now, I'm just waiting for a release date for Super Mario RPG remake,
Mm.
and I'll be happy. Yeah. I mean, ultimately though, but like just building a nice, decent library, stuff. Like the ally is actually, I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's not that often that I say like something that's hundreds of dollars spent, like I'm satisfied with, but I'm really happy with this purchase.
Nice.
I'm really happy with this purchase, and I know $700 is kind of steep for some people, especially when there's a $400 alternative called the Steam Deck out there, which in my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people. Like I get outside my comfort zone spending money if it goes over $300. So
Yeah.
even back when like you and I were kicking the can around about getting a Steam Deck, Corey,
Hmm.
like I was really like mulling around the idea of like, do I want to plop the money down for it?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things now, and I'm not sure if it's because like I don't know, like I don't consider myself poor, but I always feel like I heard recently from a financial advisor that like a $500 expense can make or break you, like it can push you into the poverty line, like if it's like a home repair or something like that,
Hmm.
and like that's just scary because like having your car fucking break down on you, and it's like a few $100s and stuff like that if you're not already financially set, that could fuck you up.
Did you know that something like 85% of the country can't pay for a $400 emergency? Like,
Yes, yeah, I knew that.
I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But
Oh
that's why
man.
you get more loans
No, no,
and
no,
credit cards.
no, no, no. Pay cash for everything, everybody. Pro tip.
I've been doing that for the longest fucking time, and guess what? I screwed up my credit because when you don't have a credit when you don't have a credit card, you can't have a credit profile. So
Hmm.
let me see, I'm 48 right now. I want to say since my late 20s, like I haven't had a credit card and stuff like that. So like now that I'm sitting here trying to be an adult, like and get a new car and possibly look at getting a house real soon and stuff like that. or even just get a credit card and stuff like that. Like it's fucking impossible because like my credit report is not that I have a zero score. No one has a zero score on their credit report. Like you just have no score, which apparently is worse than having bad credit. So yeah.
Yeah. I have
So
I have
oh,
one
good.
I have one card. It's for Amazon. It's got like a really low limit, and I put stuff on it, and then I, you know, will make payments and then do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I also learned a nice little trick from a financial advisor. I'm not gonna say it over here because I don't want anyone to be like, well, LeRon told me this that do this and all of a sudden this shit's fucked. Like
LeRon's
I
not a
learned.
financial person. Do not take any
Mhm.
of his advice to the degree of, I don't know,
Thank you,
seriousness.
Mhm.
thank you, Corey
You're
Hudson
welcome.
Derrick. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you.
You're
Yep,
welcome.
LeRon is not a
LeRon
fiduciary,
You don't
therefore
know
he
my
is
middle
not
name.
obligated to,
starts with an A.
Yep, it starts with an A, but you don't know my middle name.
Um,
I don't.
Alexander.
I don't. That's pretty nice, but no, it's not my middle name.
It's probably the whitest middle name you've ever heard.
It is
Like
not. It's a very ethnic
Alfred.
middle. It's a very ethnic middle name.
is it
Um,
Alfonso?
No,
is it
No.
Antoine?
no. That's
And
there's nothing ethnic about Antoine. What?
Is it
I don't know.
Andrew?
No, no. That's no.
Is it? I don't know. I give up. Oh
Would
man,
you like to find out what Ron's or what
Ron,
LeRon's I'm sorry,
Ron
LeRon's
Anthony Dawkins. That's his white name.
Have fun.
Anyways, give us your
Oh
So
comments in the Discords and the Twitterverse. What is
yeah,
LeRon's middle name?
I would love to see what people come up with.
oh man. Anyways, ROG Ally. I want one. Also, like now I feel like I have to wait because all these devices are gonna get like revamped in the next couple years because of the EU regulations where everything
Uh,
has to have an easily removable battery and all these weird things, which is probably why we haven't seen like a successor to like the Switch or some of these other mobile devices yet, right? Because like
yeah.
their hardware is going to have to change to appease EU regulators. So, anyways, by the way, that Switch 2 leak is floating around out there. Nobody believe it. It's fake. Super fake. So it's a good fake, but it's fake. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
I believe it.
yeah,
Nintendo wouldn't let such information out.
I know. Nintendo. They would Miyamoto would come hunting you down,
Hmm.
take your firstborn child, and then he would be some sort of power their studio.
Yeah. And then Bowser would sue the pants off of you.
Oh, good times, good times, good times. What are you playing though, LeRon?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just tweaking
Nothing. I
that.
really, I really. Well, the only thing I have been playing is like I'm continuing my second run through Dead Space, like to get the alternate ending. So that's really what I've been doing. And I've been playing on the ROG Ally, which has been very entertaining. Like I actually like that. Like I'm actually playing it. It feels like I'm sinking more time into it on the ROG Ally. It might be because I'm also tweaking like settings and stuff on it. That's
Yeah.
that's just the way it feels. But like the second time around is definitely fun. I'm also doing the one gun run, which means basically you're just killing everything with just a plasma cutter because I want to get that achievement because like I was like I want to test out how the new weapons were like when the game first came out. I want to test out the revamps of all the weapons and stuff. So man, like I was just like cutting through everything with like the contact beam and the line racks and yeah, I was like man, like yeah, this is pure fun, you know but now I'm actually doing the actual I'm doing a serious run with just to get the one trophy. Um and I don't know why, but apparently I must not have played. Actually, I know what it is. I didn't play on the hardest difficulty my first time playing it. The hardest difficulty is available right out the box. I didn't play that difficulty, so I don't know for sure. So I think that's why I cannot get like the hardcore extreme mode or whatever it is, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got so like, and then technically I started the second run on the same default like level. So it's like, man, I'm gonna be playing this game like 50 million times. Like, the good news is you don't have to play on the hardest difficulty to get the alternate ending. You just have a requirement to get before you get to the end of the game that you have to fulfill. And also, there's cheat codes in the game.
Cheat
Yay.
codes.
There's cheat codes in the game.
What do these cheat codes do?
They get you free stuff. Like, and it's not like glitches or, well, technically I don't even think these are exploits. Like, like in this day and age, there's no such thing as exploits anymore. Like it's cooked into the game. Like at least for Dead Space, it's cooked in the game. It's something you definitely got to do on purpose. To get it done. There are exploits in the game where they can get like more money and stuff like that. But like getting actual bona fide real items and stuff like that, there's a section in the game where you get a chance to do that. Basically, you dance in the unitology circle. Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Pat,
Yeah.
what are you playing?
Well, as I promised last week, I beat game number 21, Pikmin.
Nice.
Did you already beat that game?
It's
The original, yeah.
Dude, it's really short. It's like 6 or 7 hours if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, with the walkthrough, it took me about 6 hours. I ended up like redoing like half the game just because when you get to that, like, was it the Distant Springs, the one with all the water?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I looked at a walkthrough and it's like, oh, send out 100 like water Pikmin out to these locations. Like, dude, I only have 48 water Pikmin. This is not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
So the second playthrough, I did. I definitely farmed more Pikmin than I had originally. I think I had like 600 to 700 Pikmin by the time I got to that area. So I was well stocked with yellows and blues, and red just becomes pretty much absolutely useless by that point. And then I got to the final boss, and let me tell you, the Pikmin are stupid as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And like I seriously like had to restart that boss several times because my Pikmin is like, oh hey, I'm gonna drop a bomb right on my other Pikmin and kill like 60 of them right there. Well, or another one would be like, oh hey, I didn't knock the boss over, so now he's eating Pikmin by the droves.
Yeah.
And it was rough, but mostly like it was the stupidity of my own Pikmin who chose to just drop bombs right in the middle of the group.
They chose to die.
They're like, fuck this, we're not fighting, we're just gonna blow ourselves up.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, I beat Pikmin 1. It was fun. I don't think it's my favorite out of the Pikmin so far. I'm liking 2 better. I liked 3 even more. And something tells me 4 is probably going to be freaking amazing with all the reviews that have been coming out so far. That game is getting like 9s across the boards.
Yeah, it's getting pretty good scores.
I mean, I think it's like getting better scores than Final Fantasy did.
Yeah, but you got to consider what kind of game it is, and I don't know. I don't like to compare games of different genres when the scores come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
True.
I mean, you can look at something like what's that, Dave the Diver or whatever, that's getting perfect scores across the board, and it's like, well, is that really a game of the year contender? Or people just really like it. You know what I mean?
I need to see that.
Yeah, it's like everybody's like weekend obsession, like a couple weekends ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I need to. That sounds like something I might want to try.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, he says.
Yep. But in the meantime, I got the game that I have been really looking forward to, but it got delayed because I got the special edition.
Ooh.
So, it took me 2 weeks while other people were playing it. And that is the game Rain Code.
Ooh.
Master Detective Archives. By the creators.
I don't know anything about this.
This is by the creators of Danganronpa.
Oh, okay. I know
a visual
that.
novel that is a battle royale led by a very crazy homicidal black and white bear.
Okay.
Yeah. It is the spirit. It's definitely a spiritual successor to Danganronpa. You can see a lot of similarities in it. The game features a character named Yuma Cocohead, and
Hmm.
he is a detective, and his goal is to solve all the world's mysteries because that's what the detectives are for.
Mm-hmm.
But so this group of detectives gets called into a part of the world called the um, shit, what is it called? I think it's the Kanzai ward, something like that. It's a city that's basically run by a corporation that no state really has any power over it. And so the city is very closed off, very secretive, and apparently a lot of bad shit goes down there.
Oh, okay.
And detectives are not very welcomed. In fact, they're almost frowned upon and perhaps even hunted.
Mm.
Um, so the story itself it's got that kind of like dark, like opposing nature to it. The graphics are very they call it a vivid noir. I was thinking along the lines of like if you remember Schumacher's Batman's, the whole like gothic setting, but then you still have those neon lights and like pictures like floating around. That's exactly what this world setting is. And the city never stops raining.
Hmm.
Never stops raining.
Never stops raining. So the graphics are constantly like bright fluorescent colors that are like watered down like in puddles and kind of blurred with the rain.
Mm.
It's actually got a very very nice graphic style with it. The gameplay itself is a very it's a very I would still call this a visual novel, even though you have control of your character and where to move them and where to, check things out. Like it's a three-dimensional world map that you can walk around and you click, you interact with little prompts. But the actual gameplay comes in the form of what they call mystery labyrinths. Uh, every unsolved crime creates a mystery labyrinth in another dimension. And if these mystery labyrinths go unsolved, they can just keep getting bigger and bigger until they start influencing the real world. So your job is to squash these unsolved mysteries before they get to that point, and you have to do that by destroying the mystery labyrinths. So your character will run around these mystery labyrinths. It's you can't get lost, and you'll eventually like run into little puzzles where you have to kind of sort through logically what's going on with the crime. And a lot of them come in the form of what they called reasoning death battles, where you have an opponent that looks like something out of a Persona game. The labyrinths themselves are something out of a Persona game. Like they are manifestations of like whatever weird shit's going on at that time. And so the characters like turn out into these like fluorescent looking wrestler dudes or mannequins, like stitched up mannequins or whatever weird things that are going on with the game. And they will like fight you with their words. They will spew words and they will toss them out, and you're supposed to dodge these words. Or when they finally spew out a statement that you can contradict, you strike it with your reasoning blade. And you have to like you get these keys that you put in through the reasoning blade. That is your reason why that statement is wrong. So you have to pick the correct key and then slash the correct statement, and that kind of progresses, the logic. It's very similar to the bullet time in Danganronpa, for those who play Danganronpa, where you had like this trial setting and people would start like shooting out like accusations or statements, and then you had to break them by shooting the statement that was contradictory and stuff like that. It's not a gun; it's a sword this time. Your
Okay.
character, Yuma Kokahead, is haunted by a ghost named Shinigami, and she's kind of creepy. She's a death god, and she's very in the labyrinth. She's a very what is it, bodacious vixen.
Bodacious.
She's very jiggly,
Mm.
and very suggestive and
Mm.
very
Very anime.
obnoxious. Yes, she
Mm.
is the equivalent of fan service in this game.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Um, and she is your partner throughout the whole thing. When you're in the real world, she's in that little ghost form, and then when you're in the mystery lab, and she's basically Bowsette.
Mm. Gotcha.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm loving the game. The mysteries are been very they're very captivating. Like there's a lot of twists, a lot of turns. Sometimes you can see the solution easily. Other times it kind of sneaks up on you. But they're very dramatic in terms of like their presentation, and it keeps you engaged, which is really what you can ask for in this type of a game is to stay engaged to the actual story because it's 85% story.
Mm. Nice.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. I hope to beat it soon so I can do Pikmin. I'm gonna end up doing Pikmin 4 anyways very soon, but I'd like to be able to focus on one.
Yeah, you should just focus on one. Just focus.
Not gonna happen though when Pikmin comes. I'll have to focus on two.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess it's my turn. I played a little bit of Zelda. I actually went to go play Final Fantasy, but rip. So, um,
It melts your PlayStation.
yeah, it won't even turn on. So,
What have you started to do about that?
4 to 6 weeks. So,
I see.
cool. Can't wait to play it in, in 2 months. So I played a little bit of Zelda. I'm trying to wrap it up because we got to record book club sometime in the next 2 weeks. So, that'll be fun. I got I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I'm just gonna go finish it up, and we'll talk about this on our last episode of book club.
Were you using the guide? Now
No,
that you have it, no.
no. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna like. I'll open it. I'll look at it, but I'm not even gonna like use it. It's gonna go on the shelf next to the other books and look nice. So
Fair enough.
yeah. So yep, another thing to put on the shelf. So all right, guys. Where do we want to start here? Where do we want to start? The
How about the
console
beginning?
the console wars are real even if you don't think you're participating. It's the first topic. It's a very real thing on the internet if you're looking. So,
I think people just drag you in regardless of whether or not you have a side. Like you could have I have all three systems, and frankly put, I will play any of them, and I don't like say one's better than the other. But the fact that I didn't say that their system was the better one automatically, makes me a part of the opposite team.
yeah.
And that's what I hate about today.
Yeah. I definitely there was definitely a few conversations this week that I was in, and once I started to lean into the aggressive territory, I just stopped responding to these conversations. And then every time, I'm commenting on somebody's Xbox post, especially because like the ABK deal is like almost done, hopefully, and like I follow a lot of Xbox people because that's I say that's my preferred platform at this point. That's where I play most games, unless it's on Nintendo, then I'll play it there, or something that feels like a Switch game. But like it's just like every time I comment, like a whole bum rush of PlayStation people come in. Well, Xbox sucks. You had to buy Activision to try to win. I'm like, I don't think it's. I, I'm just ready for the deal to be over. I don't really care, you know. And then there's LeRon who's like, nah, build a $1 billion PC to emulate everything.
Dude, to play every goddamn thing. All right, so I'm still in the camp that there's no the console wars is like that's not a thing, but like it's interesting how like that narrative stood back up again with this whole like with the whole like Activision Blizzard merger, acquisition into Xbox, because like now it feels like there is it didn't help that Uncle Phil and Daddy Jim were having a slap fight about this shit,
Oh my gosh! And
and
then that email that came out like literally the next day
oh
of
yeah,
Jim signing the thing to keep Call of Duty on Xbox or on PlayStation.
yeah, which kind of I feel like these companies, I don't know, like that, like these 10-year agreements though. I feel like Microsoft's going to renege on these, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like
I
I feel
mean, it
like
depends
after
on. I think it depends on who's in charge at that point.
because here's what's going to happen, right? Okay, because now Call of Duty's on borrowed time, on other consoles. If I'm being frank, Frank, on
Hi, Frank.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like now there's a timed exclusive on, well, a time limit for how long these are going to be on other consoles and stuff like that. Other companies like Sony are going to be working on making their own answer to Call of Duty, and other games that may or may not, like ever be coming to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. I'm not really, well, Nintendo, like not Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo Switch is not going to be their last system. It could be their last system if they fuck up with this Switch Pro, but but
It's not a Switch Pro. It's their next console, dude.
no,
The
you know
Switch 2.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean, because
The
because
new
like
Switch U Deluxe.
because everybody erases the memory of the Wii U. They
I don't.
they just
They should
they
call it
say they say
the new Nintendo Switch.
they probably will do that. They probably will do that. This
Naming conventions.
yeah, but anyway, going back to what I was saying, now that we know that like Microsoft giveth and taketh away, with like these IPs now and stuff like that. These companies are going to start figuring out like, hey, can we make an answer to this? Like, especially Sony. Like now that we know like how much money they made off of Call of Duty, Call of Duty
Yeah.
releases and stuff like that. It's wild. But anyway, so and Sony has like the development structure to make a. I'm not gonna say a Call of Duty killer, but like a Call of Duty competitor.
They had one. They had SOCOM. People loved it. Then they
Yeah.
stopped making it.
Well, why did they stop making it? That was the question.
Because PSN went out for a month and then nobody bought the new one because SOCOM 4 came out like 2 weeks before the PSN went out, and then they shut the studio down because the game didn't sell. It's like,
there you go.
have a better infrastructure.
There you go.
Maybe.
No, clearly it's the game.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, I don't know. And I always feel like I end up getting defensive when I shouldn't be. And it's like, well, I'm not saying PlayStation is bad, and I'm not saying PlayStation has no games, but I'm also trying to say, like, just because you're not into one ecosystem doesn't mean that system doesn't have any games, And I don't know, just because I prefer Xbox and like, yeah, I realize that I'm on the outside for a lot of PlayStation exclusives. I kind of feel like a lot of them are either not for me or just kind of boring. That's the stance I took on God of War, right? God of War Ragnarok is boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like, I already had that conversation. If you want to listen to me rant about that, you can go listen to it, but it's not, if people are enjoying it, I'm not going to like say you suck for enjoying it. The Last of Us is like one of the most beloved games of all time. I also didn't like what I played of that. So, I I don't know, man. I'm just I feel very like, because I like Xbox, attacked on the internet all the time. Just like when,
Wait. You're getting wait. Were you being attacked by Xbox fanboys or PlayStation fanboys?
I don't know, because some of the people I don't know. Some of them I did. Some of them I don't.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
can't tell you.
Okay.
I'm assuming they would be PlayStation people if they are attacking an
Well,
Xbox person.
what was being said? Let me ask you
Where
this.
did the PlayStation person touch you?
That
I don't need to know this. I don't need to know those details.
no, well, okay, so a few of the conversations I was in the other day with both people that we know and people that we don't know, right?
Uh-huh.
Was that like people were saying that Xbox was going out of business because Major Nelson left the company after 20 years because he's
What?
65 years old. Everybody,
Wait. Major Nelson does not make any financial decisions for Xbox.
I'm aware, I'm very
Who?
aware, and
Wait, who the fuck?
this was a conversation I was
Second
having.
head, the second talent starts leaving the company. That usually means that the
Hmm.
company's gone under.
Yeah,
I mean, just look at every like Grand Theft Auto. Apparently, after the creators left, Grand Theft Auto went under. Right? Like, even though it's the biggest game in the entire world, it still went under.
and my argument, and by the way, this whole argument is in our writers chat, LeRon, if you want to look at it. Um, I my argument was Major Nelson is not Xbox, and if you've been paying attention to Xbox over the last decade and a half,
Exactly.
you would know that. And
Major
then
Nelson is just a
and then
mouthpiece
and then
for
I
fucking
just
Xbox.
and I said that in multiple chats I'm in, and then I just started getting attacked, like ferociously attacked by a lot of people
I do not fucking understand. I don't
from
understand.
eh, like it it was ridiculous, and I'm like, well, this is so stupid. I'm just exiting this conversation. So also they told me I wasn't allowed to be excited for Xbox for games that aren't out yet. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
That's like that's like telling someone they can't feel a certain way.
I know. I know. So I just stopped talking. I was like, my last thing was like, this is why I don't engage in these conversations. And then
Oh,
I just stopped.
yeah, as you should.
Yeah. So, you know. And then I also tried to like say Xbox does have games, but they're just not the giant AAA games that, you know,
Oh,
PlayStation has been putting out.
you should have said that. You should have said that. Trigger the fuck out of somebody.
I did. And then I
Oh.
started getting attacked again in that chat and from DMs. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of this. I'm leaving this conversation. Um, so yeah, that was fun. But yeah, that's where it all started. Is like people were saying that Xbox was in trouble because Major Nelson was leaving. I'm like, the guy's been at Microsoft for like almost 30 years. He's been ahead of Xbox or the head of the community for Xbox for 21 years. He's 65 years old. What do you want the guy to do? Stay forever? Like, you know, and it's like, do you not know Jeff or Rebecca or Malik or, you know, any of these other people? Or even if you go to the Bethesda side, like Pete Hines or, you know, some of these other people that are coming up through the ranks, like, it's just if people were paying attention to Xbox, you would know these things, right? Just like when people were paying attention to the PS4, everybody knew who Shuhei Yoshida was, Adam Boyes, uh, you know, Kevin Butler. It's like, you know, like it's
I
PlayStation
miss
had these
Kevin
characters
Butler.
too. Yeah,
He was funny.
I know. He got fired because he was in another commercial that had a Wii in it. He wasn't even playing it; it was just in the background.
Yep.
It broke his contract, so he got fired.
Yeah.
But you know, and it was just like this is a non-winning battle, and I think the problem is like you don't get context through text, which makes it worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second, like the problem today is like you can't have a rational conversation with anybody. Everything's so black and white, and like why do we have to pick a side? I'm like, I have all three consoles. I play on all three, and I enjoy video games. Because I play more on one console than the other, does that means I'm the bad guy now?
You know what? I don't think we're ever going to be able to coexist as a human race. Like, we need a common enemy. And so if we don't have one, we just make one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, people that don't have anything better to do with their lives than argue about this stuff. you know?
Right.
And I don't know, man. I was like kind of really bummed out this week because of that, to be honest with you.
I can imagine.
And it's just ridiculous. It's getting really ridiculous at this point. So I don't know. What do you guys? What else do you guys? What else are you guys? I don't know.
Honestly, like console wars are stupid. Like
Yes, for real.
competition is fine. You know, let the consoles like have their fights for the exclusivities or whatever. Like, fine, that's cool. Just don't be such a dick about it. Like, you don't have to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it. This console has something that you want. Get that console. If
Right.
it doesn't, then let the person who it does
Mm-hmm.
enjoy their game.
Yeah. I'm gonna. My other argument was that Xbox's Metacritic score is like their exclusives are about the same as PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That was my other argument I was trying to have. How can they have the same Metacritic score if they don't have any games? I'm like, well, they do, but you're just not looking. So, you know, Forza Horizon 5, 92. Flight Simulator, 90. Probably not a game a lot of people are looking at, right?
Mm-mm.
Sorry, I'm just going down this list. Deathloop wasn't exclusive. Psychonauts 2, 87. Probably not a lot of people looked at that either, right?
Right.
Hi-Fi Rush, 87. Halo Infinite, 87. 2 Game of the Year awards. I get that they didn't have a long tail, and the tail is disappointing, but that game was awesome when it launched. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, 86. Pentiment, 86. Probably another game not a lot of people looked at, but it got a lot of tens, and a lot of people were like really saying that this might be one of Obsidian's best games ever. A Plague Tale Requiem, 85.
That's not an exclusive.
It wasn't launch. I think it was a Game
I know
Pass.
it was a Game Pass game, but I don't think it was exclusive. Or
Well, maybe not then. Whatever.
yeah,
Okay, you can cross that out then. Sorry,
okay, we're crossing that one off.
I thought it was like a launch exclusive or something.
No, it's just a lot of people went to Xbox because it was Game Pass.
Yeah. Gears Tactics, 82. Another game that a lot of people probably didn't look at because it's a tactics game, right? So, and like the only really the real blunder since the Xbox Series X came out was Redfall, right? Which was, what did we say, a 57 during a Metacritic draft conversation. So I don't know. Like I'm trying to make my case here, although I have gone into defense mode now. Just like that's just where I automatically went at this point. So yeah, I don't know. I've just been really struggling the last week because of this, and I think it's all been because of the Activision Blizzard thing, and it's so, everybody's so anti that or for it, and it's like, man, I don't know. Would you rather like some like Saudi Arabian government buy it, or Tencent or someone like
Right.
that, or Embracer
Right.
Group, right? Like, is that what you really want to happen? So I don't know. So just to stay on that point, I'm going to bring up the PlayStation exclusives, and just to, so people don't yell at me for only listing off one side. God of War 94, Ragnarok, by the way, all since 2020, by the way, which is when the consoles came out. God of War 94, Moss Book 2 for PlayStation VR was a 90. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Do we want to count Square games?
Right now we can because
Yeah, because they're
they're
on the PlayStation.
they're only PlayStation.
Yeah. So, all right. Final Fantasy 7 Remake was in 89. Last of Us Part 1, 88. Ratchet and Clank, 88. Horizon Forbidden West, 88. Gran Turismo 7, 87.
So average of 88.
Yeah. And Final Fantasy 16 is at an 87. So,
Did you know Pikmin 4 is 88 right now?
Mm-hmm.
That is still sad. Well, not sad, but
yeah. Returnal is an 86. Miles Morales is an 85. So those are like the major PS5 games that have come out. Which, yeah, okay.
What about Sackboy? What was that?
I have no idea. In the sack of trash. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sackboy, big adventure with Sackboy and Sackgirl. Sack people.
I don't think it did. I don't think it did that well.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, honestly, the game was kind of boring. You know, it had some really cool ideas, but like the focus on trying to make it multiplayer and like locking levels unless you had multiple players, like
78.
Yeah, that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyways.
But then there was that level with Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars?
There was a Bruno Mars song that had a level, and it was actually pretty
That's
awesome.
not true.
Is it?
Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars had a level in that game.
I
forget what I don't know what the song was called, but
was
it
him. Uptown Funk?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a level that literally plays to Uptown Funk.
That's just silly. That's just silly. So.
But it was awesome.
Oh, don't forget about Godfall, guys. 68.
That one went to multiple consoles. We can't count that one anymore.
Oh, is it? Is it on Xbox?
It's on PlayStation or Xbox, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. It must have been a stealth release. Nobody wanted to know.
I think after its lukewarm reception, no one cared.
That's fair. That's fair.
We could almost have added Stray to that list, but we can't.
No, it's coming out on Xbox. Sorry.
I know. But that was a great one.
Let's
be fair now and look at Nintendo.
Okay.
Come on.
Best Switch games Metacritic. Best Switch games of all time. All right. Breath of the Wild, 97. Mario Odyssey, 97.
Jesus Christ.
The House and Fate Morgana, Dreams of the Revenant.
That's a visual novel.
96. Tears of the Kingdom, 96. Tetris Effect Connected, 94. Metroid Prime Remastered, 94. Jeez. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 93. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 92. Bayonetta 2, 92. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 92.
Well, aren't you glad you didn't bring Nintendo's name?
According to FTC, Nintendo doesn't count towards anything. So
yeah, true. Yeah,
Nintendo doesn't make great games. What are you talking about?
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, 89. Super Mario 3D World, 89. Fire Emblem Three Houses, 89.
Ooh, Pat, you're going to hell for saying that one.
Metroid Dread, 88. Super Mario Maker, 88. Monster Hunter Rise, 88.
Wait. Metroid Dread got an 88. I just want, man, it makes me want to go out and shake somebody. Oh my god, that is not cool.
Pikmin 4, 88. Astral Chain, 87. That's a shame that game's not on more consoles. Link's Awakening, 87.
Yeah, right?
I think Astral Chain is Nintendo exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
Platinum, but Nintendo.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, 86. Bayonetta 3, 86. That's a little high for that. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, 86.
Remember, that was a failure.
I know. Luigi's Mansion 3, 86. Cadence of Hyrule, 85. Let's see, where are we at now? We're getting down into some Pikmin 3 Deluxe, 85. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, 85.
I think we kind of made it a point. Even like Nintendo's like worst games are, for some reason, 80s.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, 85. Shin Megami Tensei 5, 84. Did that come to other consoles yet?
Nope.
Nope.
Bayonetta 1, 84.
We can't count that one. That was multiple.
You said Bayonetta, and then you paused and then said 1, and I was like, oh, don't tell me Metacritic score is a 1 for that game.
No.
Like, ooh.
Snipper Clips, 84. That should be higher. Nobody played Snipper Clips. I'm just going to say that. The game was awesome. It's one of the best. It was probably the second best Switch launch game. The game was awesome. I guess I made my point. I'm already on page 3, and we're still in the 80s. Tetris 99, 83.
All right, you can stop now.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3, 83. Ring Fit Adventure, 83.
I said stop.
Splatoon 2, 83.
Remember, guys, this is not a competitor, okay?
Yep, not a competitor. Because their scores are so high. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, 83. Pokemon Legends, Arceus, 83. Triangle Strategy. Oh, wait, that came to PlayStation, didn't it?
No, that one's Nintendo.
No,
that's it. 83.
Yeah. It's Nintendo and PC.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, 82. All right, I'm done now. I'm running out of Switch exclusives. That's why. So high.
I think the FTC needs to look into Nintendo now.
Yeah, they're.
Do they want that? Do they want that smoke? Do they want it?
They want Miyamoto and Onuma in there being like, thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh man, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore 81. The game's awesome. Everybody should play it. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything to say, or was my rant enough?
Your rant was more than enough.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll move on to. Let's talk about acquisitions. Not the Xbox Activision acquisition, but both companies have said that they are not done acquiring studios after this is over.
Right?
My question is, who do you think each side is pining for at this point?
Microsoft really wants to get some of that Sega pie. I know.
They want Sega.
They want that Sega pie. Sony hasn't said shit, but Sony probably wants to get Square Enix.
Oh yeah, dude. That's quite obvious.
Square Enix and Konami.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Konami, I don't know, like remember how like 3 months ago Konami was like, we back bitches, and they quiet again.
Yeah. No, I think I really do think here's the thing. Sony's getting the milk without buying the cow right now with Square. And until that stops, I don't think they're going to buy Square. I think they're just going to keep making deals. Mm-hmm. But I do think Square, when they shed all the Western studios, have positioned themselves very nicely to be purchased by someone. Right?
Yep. Okay, yeah.
So I think Square wants to be purchased. I don't know if Sony's going to purchase them unless Microsoft starts to go after them, which we saw the document. They were thinking about it, at least approaching them. And yeah, I don't know. I think you're right, LeRon, though. I think Square is aiming to be purchased by Sony. I really think that.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense though. They're not. It's not even a strange bedfellows thing. Like they're hopping in and out of each other's bed at will right now. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel like Nintendo would have something to say about that because they get about as many exclusive Square games as Sony
Well,
does.
I wonder if Square would have the same deal that Bungie does at this point, where like, hey, as long as you're not putting games on Xbox, you can put your little pixel experiments on the Switch, right? I mean, I feel like that might be a because Bungie's games are still multi-platform, so that would be my thought.
See, I don't like that tactic. That's what makes me pissed off about Sony, is the we're paying you not to not put your shit on Xbox. Do whatever else, but don't put your stuff there.
Yeah,
yeah,
That
yeah. Um,
that's
and then of course Capcom's like keep your names out your dirty whore keep my name out your dirty whore mouth like all these people like Capcom's like we're sitting pretty right now.
dude,
But
Capcom talk about a resurgence and a turnaround, man. Capcom can't miss.
exactly.
I mean,
Ex-
apparently, like critics were kind of panning Exoprimal, but apparently, it's like one of the highest streamed games on Twitch right now. I think people are like really loving it.
That's good.
Yeah. Um. So I mean, even that is like, and then they got that new IP coming out that everybody thought was Onimusha, but it's not. Um.
uh,
I forget what it is. They showed it at the Xbox showcase.
uh,
But and then Street Fighter and Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, and which it came out
it's
today that apparently there's going to Resident Evil 9's coming out in 2025 apparently, and they're going to have a remake ready for next year.
shit. They need to slow down.
I know. What are you remaking? Like, I mean, Code Veronica would be really the only one left, right? What are you going to do? Remake 5?
yeah.
No,
They are.
I hope not. I don't. I didn't even think 4 really needed remade, although it was beautifully done.
Mhm.
But like, they just needed to fix that control scheme of the original, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
They do need to make they do need to make a Code Veronica, and also they need to remake the remake of 1.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that a 1 remake in the vein of 2 and 3 would probably, because even that remake is
Mhm.
20 something years old at this point.
Yeah,
20 something, right? That's yeah,
GameCube.
yeah, yeah,
That's 20-year-old system,
yeah.
bro.
I know. I just can't believe we're getting old, man. I just somebody said the Xbox 360 was a retro console the other day, and I almost threw up. So, um, so where were we talking about? Oh, Resident Evil 1 remake. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would like that would be super like a really cool, like dense remake of the first game.
Why? Why remake it though? Why
Because
remake the first one?
because that first one, man, that would be so cool. Like the mansion is like it's so iconic, and you could actually like build it out into like this real structure instead of like loading rooms and stuff. And the tight corridors of the and like the camera pulled in like real tight would totally scare the crap out of
I
everybody.
I feel like they need to keep Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1 as they are. So like people have an idea of where these games came from.
Well, you can still
Like
buy
what
the originals.
we can still buy the originals, yes, but like the Resident I feel like the GameCube Resident Evil remake, is like one of the most superior versions of that game.
Yeah, and they added like normal controls to the re-releases on Xbox and PlayStation. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't fuck with that.
yeah, but it'd be so cool.
Yeah, it's all about the atmosphere with that game.
Yeah, and like what are the red zombies called? What are they called? The
Uh,
Uh,
Crimson Heads.
yeah, the
Thank you.
reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like oh man, that'd be so scary if you like, and like these consoles are like, even that probably the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 at this point are so powerful that like it could remember things, right? And like leave the dead bodies in the hallway, and then when you walk through that hallway again like 2 hours into the game, it like is disappeared or is the Crimson Head or something, or like the dogs, right? Like oh my gosh, I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
But I think they should do Code Veronica first, to be honest, because I think that's the one that advances the story the most.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I know.
Especially if they want to remake 5, they need to hit Veronica first, just because that's important to the Wesker story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, but and back to the acquisitions. Yeah, if this was like 10 years ago, I might have said Capcom might be looking to sell because they're in trouble, but I don't think so.
That could have been said. That could have been said a decade ago. Because like man, like Capcom was throwing out flops, a while back.
Yeah.
I think it would be smart for Microsoft to look at Eidos. Like with the Enforcer group falling apart,
You
I
mean Embracer
think
Group?
they, huh? Yeah, sorry.
Embracer Group?
With the Embracer group falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
I could see Microsoft going for Tomb Raider.
Well, Tomb Raider's owned by Amazon now. The whole IP, but I could see them going after Eidos and Crystal Dynamics because they're already working with them anyway on Perfect Dark. And what was the other game? What's the other game they're working on? Fable, maybe. I think Eidos is helping them with Fable a little bit. So I definitely that's who I wanted them to buy in the first place. I was like, take this money. If Square's offloading their Western developers, go buy them. They sold for $350 million. Like
Yup.
Microsoft could have
Yup.
spit that out. And like you would have gotten all that IP, you would have gotten Deus Ex, you would have gotten Thief, you would have gotten Tomb Raider, you would have gotten Legacy of Kain. Like these are
I
all
love
IP that people want.
I love seeing when companies bungle shit like that. I love seeing that.
I know. And now like the Embracer Group owns the studios, but Amazon owns the IP, and now Embracer has to work with Amazon to get this IP out there, and now Tomb Raider is going to be this big cinematic universe with games and TV shows and movies, and it's like, who needs that? Who wants that?
Tomb
Somebody
Raider
wants to.
multiverse.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Also, I mean, I don't think this is going to happen because I think just the Japanese company way of thinking of like not only selling within the country, like kind of thing, right? I know that Microsoft wants some sort of foothold in Japan, and I know they are very,
Atlas,
very close with Sega.
yeah, Atlas or Sega.
Yeah, well, Sega owns Atlas, so
I know.
it would
Yeah.
be the whole gaming division probably of Sega Sammy, which would be okay. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't know. I mean, what I think Sega's worth like $3.9 billion. So
That much, huh?
yeah. Well, you got to think about all the IP they have now too, right? Like Yakuza and Judgment and Persona and Shin Megami Tensei and Sonic and Jet Set Radio, Sega GT.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Skies of Arcadia.
Oh man, don't tease me with that.
Oh man, I would love to see. You know what? Why am I saying I would love to see that? I can.
Wow.
I would love. Oh wait, I can
LeRon,
emulate it.
LeRon's a smart boy, everybody. Promise.
Well, no. Well, no. But you know what? That's just a testament, though. Like as gamers, we want games. We want games. So like we're in this. I'm not even sure if it's a golden age yet, but like I mean, like remakes and remasters are becoming more and more frequent now and stuff like that. So and even re-releases of games and stuff like that. Uh, uh, so what's taking people so long to get like the lost trove of games that was on the Dreamcast, out there,
Mm-hmm.
what's taking them so long, stuff like that, and this is not me shitting on Sonic, like I'm tired of all these damn Sonic games personally.
Where's Blue Stinger?
Right?
Where's Egg?
Where's Billy
No.
Hatcher?
Keep egg where it's at. But
Where's Seaman?
Bring
Oh,
back.
God.
Oh,
What if they made a
Leonard
Kinect
Nimoy-
version of
Leonard-
Seaman?
Leonard Nimoy is gone. Like, no, you can't do that. No.
Oh,
I will not stand for it.
But it could be Seaman, but with Chris Pratt.
oh God.
All right, we need to move on to a new topic.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of
that just made me mad, Pat. That made me mad.
Can you just imagine that? I want you to picture what semen looks like with Kurt's.
yeah.
Uh,
But
uh, uh,
I
uh,
I
uh.
also think like in terms of Microsoft right now, I think a real option is a Sobo. I think that's a real option for them. They do the Plague Tale series, but they also make Flight Simulator.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like just because they already handle Microsoft IP really well, I think they know. Obviously, they know the cloud infrastructure very well. I think that would be pretty safe to say. So, also, there's the rumor that Warner Brothers is gearing up to sell their gaming division again. So, Discovery wants to sell Warner Brothers gaming division and do what Disney is doing, which is just licensing their IPs out. So that would be really interesting. It'd be cool, but like if somebody ended up buying the Warner gaming division, like you would get the studios but not the IP, like Rocksteady,
Yeah.
but or I guess NetherRealm you would still get Mortal Kombat, but I don't know. Pat, you got any more thoughts?
Who would get Bandai or who would get Namco Bandai or Bandai Namco?
Nobody.
No one.
They're doing
Nintendo.
pretty good. Like they're doing pretty good. They've got Dragon Ball, they've got One Piece, they've got Tekken, they're
Dark Souls,
Dark, yeah, like they're doing pretty good right now.
Pac-Man.
Oh yeah. Oh, that alone will keep them keep them afloat for another 25, 50 years.
Elden Ring.
Bandai Namco is doing all right. As a matter of fact, Capcom and Bandai Namco are like legit in like some like really nice like positioning. It's Konami that we have to worry about, honestly. Like Konami should be worried more than us gamers should be worried. As gamers should only be, because like right now, like we as gamers we don't expect much from Konami. Like, and everybody's looking real hard at that Metal Gear Solid like collection that's coming out and stuff like that, because like Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be remastered,
Mm-hmm.
but
Don't forget Silent Hill 2 and all the Silent Hills that are coming.
Exactly, yeah, but yeah, like the community's lost faith in Konami, so Konami has like a lot of work to do right now. So it's one of those situations where it's like like put your best foot forward.
Yeah, that's what happens when you tell gamers to fuck off and then take all your franchises and make them into Pacino machines.
Remember that cutscene of Metal Gear Solid 3 like a long time ago that people thought was going to be a game and it ended up being a pachinko machine with a nice screen on it?
Are you talking about the Halo drop, that scene?
I don't remember what it was.
With the jets flying and like he's in the cargo compartment.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Good times. All right, good times. Man. All right. Well, I don't know. I think that's gonna do it. We got to save this last topic for Boss Rush Extra. So, anybody else have anything to say before we get out of here?
Nope.
Great.
Play Pikmin.
Yes, play Pikmin. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. You can catch us every Monday on podcast services. You can get it 3 days early on Patreon for just $1, along with other things. Follow us on social media at Boss Rush Network, bossrush.net for all the content, all this stuff.
Yo,
subscribe to YouTube channel.
Just check all the damn show notes. That's where you can find it all at.
Yeah, do it all. Just follow us. Follow us. Thanks for watching. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
The long.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support. The Boss Rush Podcast is a product of Boss Rush Media, LLC, and is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio. This show is produced, written, and directed by me, Corey Dierig. My co-hosts are Stephanie Klimov, LeRon Dawkins, and Edward Varnell. You can find Stephanie at Klimov_author on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on the EXPcast. You can find LeRon at Exodus803 on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, and also on Crossroads, the video game podcast. You can find Edward at ThatRetroCode on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting Nintendo Powerblock. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCoreyInHD, and find me hosting Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, and co-hosting Nintendo Powerblock. Find the Boss Rush Podcast on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.